Welcome to the Notes on Point Slope Form. By the end of this lesson, you're going to understand how to use point slope form to graph equations and understand the equations of a line. So point slope form, there it is. You guys will understand that mathematicians are not very creative. The name tells you what you need. You need a point, okay, which is right here. It's our y1 and our x1, okay, and that's an ordered pair. So the point is for x1, comma, y1. All right, that's a comma there. Okay, so notice that those are positive, but it's always a subtraction sign in point slope form. And if you know the slope, which is m, remember, m equals rise over run. So if you know a point and you know the slope, you can put it into point slope form. And what are we going to use this for? Really, it's used for one thing, all right? The point slope form is used for one thing. We use it to get, if you look at this problem, we're going to have to end up distributing that m through, but we're going to get y by itself, all right? Or we're going to solve for y, because if you get y by itself, the equation will then be in slope intercept form. So we're going to use point slope form to get into slope intercept form, and then we'll be able to graph the equation much easier. So there's the equation, the formula. It looks confusing. Let's take a look at an example and you'll see how easy it is. So first one, write the equation in slope intercept form. So we're given the slope. There's the slope right here, -2/3, and we're given a point, 3, -4. So we're given the slope and a point. Guess what form we're going to use to get into slope intercept form? That's right, we're going to use point slope. So here it is again in case you forgot. Y, it's always minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. And here is our x1, y1. And here is our slope right here, m. We just have to plug it in. So watch as we go. It's going to be y, always a minus. What's our y1? Our y1 is minus a -4 equals our slope. We said is -2/3. And then we've got our parentheses. That x will always be, that's just part of the form. And then it's a minus. And then in this case, our x1 is +3. So just -3. And that's how you put it in point slope form. Now this minus a -4, all right, that becomes a +4. So I'll just rewrite this whole thing now. So we have y plus 4 equals -2/3 x minus 3. Now, how are we going to get y by itself? We've got this nasty fraction we got to distribute. So here's the most important step. If you have a fraction, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply by whatever the denominator is. So in this case, it's 3. Now, really, you're going to multiply both sides by 3, this side and this side, and then this will cancel out here. But as long as you understand, if you multiply the other side by this denominator, that will cancel out. So that's how we're going to get rid of that fraction. If we got fractions, let's just get rid of them. It makes life a lot easier. So now on this side, where we multiply this by 3, we're going to have to distribute. So we're going to have 3y plus 12. Now, a lot of people ask, what if there's negative sign? All right. I always tell people the negative sign goes with the number on top. Okay, so over here, we're going to have to distribute a -2. The number on top is the numerator. So -2 times x is -2x. And then a negative times a negative is a +6. And then it just becomes a simple algebra problem. Get y by itself. So subtract 12 each side. Subtract 12. So we have 3y equals -2x plus 6 minus 12 is -6. And then we just got to divide by 3. Get that y by itself. Opposite operations. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. So our final answer will then be y equals, now -2, just keep it as a ratio because that's what the slope is. There's our x, -6 divided by 3 is -2. And that's how you take a point and the slope and get it into slope intercept form. Okay, let's take a look at one more example. This is probably the hardest, I shouldn't say hardest, it's the most steps. All right, now given 2 points, write the equation in slope intercept form. Well, whether it's point slope or slope intercept, we always need the slope. okay? And to find the slope, that's the first thing we're going to do. Remember, slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that is step one. Find m. Okay, so let's plug in our points. I'm going to call this one our x1. So this has to be y1. I'm going to call this x2. So this has to be y2. So we're just going to plug it in and solve. So m is going to equal y2. We said -8. It's always a minus. Y1 is -3. So this becomes a +3 because a minus. And then that's going to be over. All right. X2 we said is 4 minus 8. So -8 plus 3 equals -5. 4 minus 8 is -4. So the negative over negative cancels out. So our slope is 5/4. Okay, that's step one, is to find slope. Then we're going to pick a point because we don't know the y-intercept. So it doesn't matter which point we pick. So step two then is pick a point. And it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick what we already labeled x1, y1, and we're going to put it into point slope form because now we have a point, we have the slope. So we're going to put it into point slope, and then that'll get us into slope intercept form. So again, point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So here we go. Let's plug it in. So always a y minus. Y1 is minus a -3. So that becomes a +3. Equals the slope we said is 5/4 times x minus x1 is 8. So here we go. Another fraction looks really complicated. We got to get in the slope intercept form. The last step is just, once we got it point slope, it's just do what we just did. Get it in the slope intercept form. We now know that if we've got fractions, we just need to multiply the other side by the denominator, which is 4, and that'll cancel that out. So when I do that, show the distribute. Remember this 5 needs to distribute over here. So when we do that, we're going to have 4y plus 12 equals 5x minus 40. Okay, so I'm going to subtract the 12. Once we've got to get that y by itself, we do opposite operations to get things to the other side of the equation. That cancels out. So 4y equals 5x. All right, minus 40 minus 12, that's going to be -52. All right, then the final step, okay, we're going to divide by 4. All right, remember, we don't just divide one piece by 4, we divide everything by 4. Another common mistake. So our final answer then will be y equals 5/4x. Now a negative divided by a positive is a negative. And then 4 does go into 52. It reduces. 4 goes into 52 13 times. So there is our final answer. Our slope is 5/4, which is what we said, and we know our y-intercept is -3. So that's how you take 2 points and get them into slope intercept form using point slope form.